What if I told you that way back in the day, way back in season 7 of Survivor, there was a twist that brought players back into the game at the merge? It isn't Redemption Island, and it is not Edge of Extinction, but instead something else that is much, much different. First off, I want to thank you all for supporting this channel. Subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing is so crucial to the growth of the channel and makes this all possible. If you want to do more to help keep the ship afloat, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. You get all videos weeks before they see the light of day on YouTube, and you get to vote for which survivors I tell the stories of. And you even get an exclusive Patreon-only video each month about the topic of your choosing. Thank you for your support. Survivor Pearl Islands was a season that fully embraced the pirate life. From the music, to the challenges, to even the twists. Everything was fully soaked in pirate culture. It made for a wonderfully unique season, and by the time we reached episode 7, we as an audience were probably resting on our laurels. You see, Day 19 Survivor has historically meant a merge, with the exception of Thailand, where Jeff clearly never said it was a merge that season. However, all 6 episodes of Survivor Pearl Island so far has seen the typical someone gets voted out, has their torch snuffed, and even they give their farewell talk to the camera to the people at home.
My biggest regret is that I didn't stay in longer to represent my beautiful state of Ohio. It does seem to be a game of a lot of deceit and a lot of lying, and I'm not real good at that.
So it's a bit unusual when the merge is not the beginning of episode 7, and instead we go to a challenge where we don't see a setup just for Drake and for Morgan, but a setup for a third tribe as well.
Morgan, Drake, your past has come back to haunt you. Come on in, guys.
No way.
That is right, every single player voted off is back, and they are the new third tribe in a move that is unprecedented by Survivor standards to this point. In later seasons, when they do something like this, the show may blindside the players, but it always lets us as the audience in on what will happen later, if the twist is built into the core of the show. However, when Drake and Morgan hear about the Outcast for the first time, we are also hearing about the Outcast for the first time and are also equally shocked by their arrival.
Revenge, baby. All about revenge.
Jeff explains that this is all part of pirate culture. Most pirates who were abandoned died, but every so often they came back, and that is what is happening here. Survivor may have jumped the shark.
Not unlike the pirate days, they got tired of somebody, felt they were no longer worthy, they shipped them out to sea, left them for dead. Typically, they died.
What happens next is a challenge between all 3 tribes. If the Outcasts win, then they get to vote 2 players back into the game to replace 1 Morgan and 1 Drake. That means if they win, 1 Morgan and 1 Drake are voted out, and then they get to replace them.
If Morgan or Drake lose to the Outcast tribe, you will go to Tribal Council tonight and you will vote somebody out. The Outcast will then go to Tribal Council and vote somebody in.
So that is of course exactly what happens.
Michelle's through, Burton's through, Ryan is through, the Outcasts defeat Morgan and Drake!
The Morgan tribe and the Drake tribe do indeed vote off 1 player each from their tribes, and in episode 8, the Outcasts get their unique opportunity to vote 2 people back in the game from their tribe while the rest are done for good.
And tonight, you will now vote 2 of you back into this game.
While we have not seen this group of 6 people together in the context of the Outcast tribe, it isn't very clear what they are considering when voting their 2 players back in. However, Burton does make a great pitch saying that if he gets back in, then he will work with whoever the other Outcast is and won't lie to them, which surprisingly no one else even considers to offer.
Whoever else goes in there, if I'm able to go in, you have my word in front of everyone here, I will never lie to you in this game. Never.
So how the voting works is that each player gets to cast 2 votes, and neither vote can be for themselves. Also, whoever gets back in the game is automatically immune at the next tribal council they attend.
If any outcast makes it back into this game, they are immune at the next tribal council to give them a fair shot at integrating with their new tribe and getting back into this game.
Which may seem unfair to those who have survived the actual game to this point, that they don't get automatic immunity, but then again, we are already watching players voted out of the game vote themselves back in, so.
One at a time, you will go up. You will be voting for 2 separate people on 2 separate pieces of parchment. You cannot vote for yourself.
Lil, originally from Morgan and voted out 3rd, and Burton, originally from Drake and voted out 4th, are voted back into the game and go back to the tribes that they were originally voted out of.
First person going back into the game. Burton.
Congratulations, Burton.
Second person going back into the game. As always, fire represents life in this game. You now have fire again. You are back in this game.
How each person is received back at their camp is wildly different. Drake is happy to see Burton return, and actually we're a bit afraid he might come back angry, but he's super nice and is simply happy to be there.
In a good mood, happy to be here, full of enthusiasm and life, and just pumped Drake back up. Bang, immediately.
Rupert even has a one-on-one conversation with him to make amends from what happened between them before he's voted out.
Within 2 minutes of talking, all fears were subsided, all hesitation was gone, everything was good.
Lil, on the other hand, is not well received at all. No one wants her back.
Lil? Lil, is that you? Oh, we are so glad it's you. We were afraid it was somebody else. Thinking, whatever.
And Andrew Savage is clearly the most vocal about how much he cannot stand this happening.
I woke up this morning really angry. I almost had to pinch myself. Is this real? Am I hallucinating? This is day 20. Why the hell's Lil here?
Both tribes end up merging, with each having 5 people.
Drop your buffs. You're merging. Hell yeah.
Now, the Outcast twist on its face seems harmless, but its effects can be seen throughout the rest of the season. The first major change it causes is almost immediately after the merge, when Lil flips over to Drake and gives them a 6-4 advantage, ensuring they will hold the numbers for the remainder of the game as they pick off both Andrew Savage and Ryan O.
Andrew, tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go.
This would not have happened had both Morgan and Drake merged on day 19, as is usual. Burton ends up joining forces with Fairplay and creates a deadly twosome who go on a rampage and eliminate Rupert, Tawana, and Krista before Burton actually is blindsided at Final 5 due to Lil flipping, of all people.
For the second time, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go.
At the final 3 immunity challenge, Lil wins and votes out Fairplay.
John, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go.
And gets her seat at Final Tribal Council, where she ultimately loses 6-1, but she finishes the game in 2nd place when originally she had been voted out 3rd. Had there not been an Outcast twist, this season plays out much differently, but possibly a lot more predictable, and all with Fairplay being the only real wild card. However, the Outcast twist basically introduces 2 wild cards into the game, while also morphing Sandra into a wild card once Rupert goes home and her alliance is only down to her and Krista. Due to how it plays out and the fact that both players had to be voted back in and both came back at the merge and not later on in the game, makes this twist a fun one-off thing for this season alone, as it, well, it fits the theme. It obviously completely shifts everything, but Survivor has been doing things like this since Africa, with the then unheard of tribe swap, and then again with the then unheard of purple rock draw, and of course, the infamous fake merge in Survivor Thailand. Its real big flaws stem from both these players were voted out and are being given automatic immunity when they come back into the game for a tribal, which seems unfair to those who had actually earned their way to this point, and the fact that we as the audience had no idea that anything like this was going to happen, and it makes us question how these players were really living when waiting to get back into the game. Were they eating more food? Were they getting more sleep? Things like that just go unanswered. Thankfully, nothing like this happens again until season 22, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. Next time on Once Upon an Island, we will be weaving the tale of Andrew Savage, the leader of the Morgan tribe. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content you see here, then please support me and this channel on Patreon. Your financial support makes this channel possible, so thank you, and thank you for watching.